Well, welcome to my Prologue edition of Skyrim Fits and Starts. I've been toying with this for ages and trying to get it off the ground, and it's become it's become eponymous. It is what it's named. I have toyed with it too much, so here we are, and here's the concept. I love the mod Live Another Life, the alternate start mod. It makes playing many games of Skyrim always interesting and fun. And I love modding Skyrim. It's one of the things that I do most with it. Since the day I first started playing it on a PC. I played it on a 360 way back in the day, but as soon as I put Skyrim on a PC and somewhere in 2013 or so, maybe late 2012, I began playing with mods. So the concept of Fits and Starts is simply to create a character, to select the Surprise Me option of Live Another Life, and then take that character to level 10. And in order to help create the character, I do have, as you can see, if you know anything about mods, this is the interface for the race menu mod for Legacy Skyrim. It's not yet available for SE. I play Skyrim Legacy for the most part now. As of the time of this recording, in mid-September of 2017, the SKSE 64 is actually in alpha build finally. Kudos to all the people who worked on it, and it's being actively tested by modders, and I think we should see some good working build that's stable enough to use, and that modders can adapt for the really important mods that haven't been usable in SE, or at least not usable in their fully functional form, like Hunterborn and Frostfall and all the other great mods. So we should see that coming up in the next couple of 3 months. Until then, we're going to continue playing in Legacy. So I am running a number of mods. We'll look at those, and part of Skyrim Fits and Starts is going to be the modding, and it's going to be talking about modding. And if you don't like that, I'm sorry. There's lots of great Let's Players out there. Many a True Nerd is a wonderful one. Of course, Gopher. Howitzer is a lot of fun. There's others that do great Let's Plays. Grolvana. These guys do, some of them do straight up Let's Plays. Some of them do funny commentary, like John at Many a True Nerd. I'd say I probably enjoy his some of the most. But anyway, I'm using this as a vehicle to play with mods, change things up a little bit, not have to go through an entire playthrough. But creating a character, taking it to level 10 is fun, and then at some point, if I do enough, and even a few people like it enough, maybe we'll pick one of the characters and take that character farther along down the line. I'm going to start with a Nord because it's Skyrim, and it's a Nord, come on. But I'm going to add a little bit of spice. First of all, I'm going to use one of my own presets for the Nord. And that's going to be this one here. And I don't remember what I created him for or who he even was. I don't remember his original name. It's not in here. No. I can't remember who this guy was. He was one of my characters from quite a while ago. So the first thing we're going to do and we're not always going to have a preset available. Sometimes I'll just create something on the fly, and I won't make people live through that. But we're also going to be using Rory's story cubes, and just to help add a little spice to it. And we're going to roll them first. And I'm not sure if that's a great idea, but I'll find out. If it's not, I'll roll them after. I'm only using 2 of the modules, the Enchanted and the Medieval. And so we're going to roll that right now for this. He's an older fellow. Clearly he's had a rough life, has some scars. He's blind in his left eye. You know, he's been through a few battles, possibly the Great War. Maybe he's a veteran of that. Anyway, let's roll the cubes first and see what we get here. All right, so we've got a little baby bassinet. Then we have a looks like a. And by the way, I am not an expert at rolling Rory's cubes. I'm going to interpret these on my own without really knowing how the Rorys would interpret them. I have a little picture of what looks like a woman with a sword, and she's holding her hand out in a stay away position, and she looks like she has a little sort of a crown, perhaps. I don't want to call it a tiara. Maybe it's just a helmet. So a female warrior, so perhaps that's interesting. And then a bow and a quiver, and then a castle with a drawbridge over what looks like a moat. So let's take the female warrior first. I think that means that my character here is going to have a female companion as his follower. That's first thing. He is going to be an archer, which doesn't disappoint me. Of course, sneaky archers are, well, this is Skyrim, sneaky archers, right? The little baby bassinet basket, let's just say, okay, he was an orphan, and perhaps an orphan who grew up at the honor hall in Riften. And the castle moat, I'm going to say that looks a lot like the entrance to Windhelm, so we're going to say that he is a Stormcloak, and that he is definitely an Ulfric sympathizer. So he's going to fall on that side of the politics. So he's an archer, he's a Stormcloak, he's going to have a female companion. He was an orphan, and that might bring him to Riften. It certainly says something about his early life, in that he probably learned to be very self-sufficient on his own. Didn't have a lot of tender, loving parenting. That doesn't mean that he's a bad person, but it certainly means that he is perhaps in the amoral range, perhaps more of a chaotic neutral type, and so that's where we're at with that. Let's call him. Well, that was my tests many things is my standard name for one of my Argonian mod testers. So in that spirit, since this is the prologue episode of Skyrim Fits and Starts, we're going to call this person, we're going to call him Manfred Testorson. Okay, so Manfred Testorson. All right, Manfred. Now, just very briefly, since we do talk about mods on Skyrim Fits and Starts, we're going to take a very quick look at the mods that I have in the MCM here. I've already configured most of them, so I'm not going to go through that or bore people with it, but you can see here I am using a lot of Enai Aeon's wonderful mods. Apocalypse, I'm using Ordinator, Thunderchild, Wildcat right now, again, as of September of 2017, Wildcat has been taken down. I think he had some issues with it. So I'm using a couple of older ones, Combat Evolved, and I think Duel is in there somewhere. No, Deadly Combat, pardon me. I haven't really set any of the parameters for that, so whatever it came with, I'm pretty much using it vanilla. There's some stagger, some other stuff. And then you can see other stuff. Now, I've loaded things in here that I may or may not ever use in this particular playthrough. Guild Starter is one of them. I think I have Tundra... Did I load Tundra Defense? No, I think I just used Guild Starter. Tundra Defense is kind of iffy at times. But certainly Harvest Overhaul, wonderful mod. Honed Metal is a great mod for getting craftspeople in Skyrim to make things for you. Hunterborn, of course, that is a standard. I am not using Frostfall. Sorry, Frostfall fans. I find it kind of onerous at times, and I end up very often turning down the not the difficulty, you might want to call it that, but the effectiveness of Frostfall. I think personally, as in the IRL, as a hiker and often a winter hiker, even taking into consideration the accelerated time of Skyrim gameplay, I think Frostfall at 1x is just ridiculously overdone. Anyway, that's just my opinion. So I'm leaving Frostfall out of it for now. But I do have Campfire loaded, and I'm using a needs mod. I would prefer there was a better one. No disrespect to I Need, but it's a little long in the tooth and needs some updating. Imperious Racials, some great stuff. That's another Enai Saiyan mod. Religion, I love. It really takes, well, worshipping especially the Aedra in Skyrim to another level. Simply Knock is just a cute little mod. The notice board, along with two other mods, make early gameplay in Skyrim, especially when you're playing as these characters are sort of an unknown quantity. They make early gameplay fun. They are all mini quest mods. Missives is another one, and Jobs of Skyrim. Those three mods are wonderful. They do have I've had a couple of train wrecks with them, but especially Jobs of Skyrim, but for the most part they work pretty well. Summer Mist is a newer version of Enai Saiyan's older Winter Mist enchantment enhancement mod. Trade and Barter, one of my go-to standards. Wearable lanterns, another go-to standard, especially when you're running an ENB, as I am in this setup. I am using an ENB called La Profeta, which is wonderful and beautiful, but yes, it does have a hit. I have foregone my old favorite Complete Crafting Overhaul remade in favor of Ars Metallica. I may or may not regret that, but I think it might stabilize the game a little bit. And that's enough mod talk for now. Sorry to go on and on. So, here we are. Manfred Testorson, the Nord orphan, etc. archer, is going to...
Approach, my child, and choose where your new life shall begin.
Let's see where we end up. Surprise me, Mara.
Which city did you sail to?
No, that's not what I said. That is not what I said.
Wherever you approach, my child, and choose where your new life shall begin.
Blah, 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 blah. Surprise me, I said.
Leaving your life to chance.
That's better.
So be it.
That's interesting. I wonder... Oh, I think I know which mod that was. I did add Predator Vision. I don't know if I'll use it or not. That's an old mod by Gopher. Anyway, here we go. Well, look where we landed. Now, how poetic is that? First of all, most of these have their own little descriptions. So, death to the Empire! Skyrim has put up with their infestation long enough. It's high time the people of Skyrim take back our land and drive the elf lovers out. By Talos, I shall see to it personally that General Tullius himself pays with his life. Well, that couldn't be a better way to start Manfred Testorson, since we already decided he was a Stormcloak, and here we are in Windhelm.
Exists.
The Jarls are upset. They don't all support you.
Damn the Jarls.
They demand the moot.
And damn the moot. We should risk letting those mill drinkers put Torik's woman on the throne? She'll hand Skyrim over to the elves on a silver plate.
All the more reason then. The crown would legitimize your claim.
A crown doesn't make a king.
No, but this one.
If it even exists.
They're talking about the jagged crown.
And it will be the symbol of the righteousness of our cause. Think about it. The jagged crown. It heralds back to a time before Jarls and Moots. Back to the time when the king was a king because his enemies fell before him, and his people rose because they loved him. Skyrim needs that king. You will be that king, Ulfric.
Yes,
You
Ulfric
must
will.
be.
You're
Now-
certain you found it?
When have I ever been false with you?
Now, Galmar is a man that Manfred can respect. Galmar is a true warrior. Manfred is a little bit suspicious of Ulfric, as he should be. Ulfric is a narcissist, certainly, and he is, for the most part, out for Ulfric, though he speaks eloquently at times. But Galmar is a true man to be respected. He is loyal and strong, and just simply somebody you can rely on. So let's see what we have in our inventory. Right now we're just wearing an immortal ghost fights for you. It has 40 points of health and stamina. Ring of the Storm King. I like the sound of that. I'm not going to put it on quite yet, though. We have some things to sell. We have a steel sword. That's good. But common clothes. So we're going to have to see what we can do about that. Now, anybody who knows Skyrim knows the first quest that I'm going to get to join the Stormcloaks involves ice wraiths, and that's not something that a level 1 character is going to take on with ease. So we're going to have to go and do some things and level up a little bit. So let's see how this goes.
Fine. I'll send
You're
you.
alive. I owe Ulfric a drink. I have to admit, I didn't think we'd be seeing you again.
Well, here I am.
I misjudged you. You're definitely Stormcloak material.
Ah, so we've skipped over the
It's
ice
time we
wraith.
made this official. You ready to take the oath?
I am, sir. I am.
That's just what we need. More work in Windhelm.
Well, here. Isn't it enough that I want to fight the Imperials after you sent me out there to die? Which, of course, I didn't, because I didn't have to do that.
Not at all. That was as much a test of your abilities as it was your resolve.
Yes,
I
resolve.
wasn't sure your heart was in it, but you've proven me wrong, and I respect that.
Excellent.
Now, if we're done being sentimental,
I think so.
it's time for you to take the oath.
Okay. I'm taking the oath.
Before you're one of us, you must swear fealty to Jarl Ulfric Stormcloak, future High King of Skyrim.
Gladly.
You must also pledge unswerving loyalty to your fellow Stormcloaks, to Skyrim, and to her people.
I shall. I'm ready. Absolutely.
That's the spirit. By swearing this oath, you become one of us, a hero of the people, a true son of Skyrim, a Stormcloak. Repeat after me. I do swear my blood and honor to the service of Ulfric Stormcloak.
I do swear my blood and honor to the service of Ulfric Stormcloak.
Jarl of Windhelm and true High King of Skyrim.
Jarl of Vindhelm and true High King of Skyrim.
As Talos is my witness, may this oath bind me to death and beyond.
As Talos is my witness, may this oath bind me to death and beyond.
Even to my lord, as to my fellow brothers and sisters in arms.
Even to my lord, as to my fellow brothers and sisters in arms.
All hail the Stormcloaks, the true sons and daughters of Skyrim.
All hail the Stormcloaks, the true sons and daughters of Skyrim.
Now you're one of us,
Nice.
which means you get to tag along on a little trip with me.
Oh, really?
Oh, and here, you're a Stormcloak now. You ought to look the part.
There we go. Now I've got some armor. So the Jagged Crown quest is over north of Whiterun. Obviously, it's the same quest you do if you happen to be an Imperial, but you're fighting on the other side, of course.
It will be there. You'll see.
So let's put on our Stormcloaky outfit here. The Hander and the Stormcloak Cuirass, and I guess I have to put on the hide helmet. And I am going to put on the ring. Don't know how that'll work. That's new to me. The ring of the Storm King.
That's just what we need.
So
More.
now I believe that I'm supposed to talk to Galmar, but eventually I'll have to meet him over there. So let's talk to him
Get
first.
yourself.
So what's the mission, sir?
I have found the final resting place of the Jagged Crown. Can you believe it?
I can.
Well, I'm almost certain.
Oh,
We're headed
okay.
to Corvinjune. But if old King Borgus is indeed buried there, we're bound to run into trouble of some kind. Your fellow Stormcloaks are already assembling outside the tomb. I'll meet you there as soon as I'm finished up here.
Well, it sounds very urgent, but sir, I really do need to level myself up a little bit before we go there, so I will get there as soon as I possibly can. But just so we're clear, how do you know the crown is there?
It's true. The location of the crown was lost with King Borgus after the Great Hunt killed him while he was off on his damned election campaign.
Oh, those damned
But
elections.
legend holds, his body was secretly returned to Skyrim and buried with the crown. Its exact whereabouts lost in the following wars of succession. Through sources that shall remain nameless, I've tracked down what I believe to be the final resting place of King Borgus, Corvinjune. If the crown exists, it will be there.
Okay. And so will I, as soon as I can, sir. I'll see you
Don't wait
there.
around for me. I bet I'll beat you to Corvinjune even though you start first.
There's my ghost. So I'm going to take that off for now. I wonder if that has an enchantment. What's the word? You know, I wonder if the enchantment wears off over time. We'll find out. We will surely find out. And how much money do I have? 483. So I'm gonna, and it is now 1 in the afternoon. All right. Speaking of mods, we are using several enhancements, visual enhancements, among them an ENB, but also palaces and castles enhance, which I love. It can cause some issues. Yes, there are collisions and people sitting in, strange places, but some of the enhancements are just fabulous. And I'm also using an updated and somewhat fixed up version of Skyrim Radioactive, which adds a lot of really, really nice interiors to shops and inns and things. So we'll see how that works out. Well, that's it for now. So my load times on this are pretty long, so I'll be editing a lot of those out.
Trying to call the Dark Brotherhood.
I'm just going to stop by and
Spare a coin for an old
give
woman, my
Silda a
lord.
little gold here.
Oh, thank you. Divines bless your kind heart.
It's my pleasure, Silda.
The divine smile.
But of course, it
on a
was completely
charitable soul.
self-serving because I get the gift of charity, so I get a little better prices. We're gonna go
Then
down
it's
and
true, what everyone
we're
is
gonna go
saying,
down and visit
that Aventus Artino is doing the Black
with
Sacrament,
our
trying to summon
dark
the
elf
Profeta.
friend at his little store down here. Sell off some of our junk.
Fine, then I'll invite him out to play.
Hi, mister. Would you like to buy some flowers?
Oh, sure. Of course I would. What do
Not
you
much,
have?
but I hope you like them.
Huh, then I'm right. I knew it.
Well, these little purple mountain flowers are as pretty as you are. Now run along.
Stop by again.
I will.
I won't deny it.
You're a war hero, Grunwolf. Ulfric will listen to you.
It's not that simple. Ulfric wants Skyrim for the Nords.
Grunwolf, what are you wearing
Doesn't
that
trust
outfit
what he
for?
calls outsiders.
Good lord.
You've seen how we live.
Interesting.
Cramped alleys, run
That's
down
part of
buildings.
one of the Colovian sets that I have loaded. I'm not sure why Brunwolf is wearing. He's usually wearing some sort of battle armor.
Take a good look around.
Interesting.
I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for.
Hello, Revan.
All my goods are legitimate, which is more than I can say for some.
Yeah, I'll bet. So let's see what
Take
you
a
got
look.
here. Let's see what I've got to sell to you first. Just the garnet and a couple of rings, I think. Gold earrings we don't need. The silver garnet ring. The steel shield. Since I have a sword, I guess I'm going to keep that. And we will work on our one-handed, even though we are going to have to come across a bow soon enough. I'll keep my common clothes so that I can wear them in towns when I want to. Now, do you have, by any chance, you do not have a lantern, okay. Do you have, let's see, I have 686 gold. It looks like I'm going to have to go to the Fletcher, or I'm just going to have to rely on grabbing a bow and some arrows at some point. How much that's going to cost me? He's, you know, as long as I have the money, and I'm going to be going to Corvignon sooner than later, I'm going to grab some steel arrows right now. An iron hunting knife I'm going to take because I need that for Hunterborn. I'm going to need a water skin soon enough. I don't have one. What else can I sell you? Nothing much. I don't think I have a water skin. No, but I have some good food. I have Sophie's little purple mountain flower. Now, Manfred's not going to be much of an alchemist at all. He knows how to make quick health potions out of blue mountain flower and wheat, but other than that, he's not going to do much alchemy at all. He's really had no need in his life. So that's
Do
good
come
enough. Let's quickly make the sword a favorite. It's a steel sword, that's right. Okay, so it does decent damage. We're going to make the shield a favorite. We're going to put the sword at 1, the shield at 3. That's my standard places. Bows go at 2. So I think the best thing for Manfred to do is perhaps... let's see, it's 142.
Yes?
Make his way towards Riften, maybe?
You come here where you're not wanted. You eat our food, you pollute our city with your stink, and you refuse to help the Stormcloaks.
But we haven't taken a side because it's not our fight.
Hey, maybe the reason these Graysons
See, now
don't
these
help
guys
in
are
the
just
war
bullies.
because
Manfred
they're
is
Imperial
not
spies.
that sort of
Imperial
stormcloak.
spies? You can't be serious.
He has no
Maybe
problem
we'll pay you a visit
with the
tonight.
Dark Elves.
We got ways of finding out what you really are.
Snowberries are good eating, too. Listen, I'm sorry for my
Do you
fellow
hate the
countrymen.
Dark Elves?
No,
Are
I
you here
do
to
not.
bully us and tell us to leave?
I don't know about that, but I certainly don't hate your people.
You've come to the wrong city, then. Windhelm's a haven of prejudice and narrow thinking.
No, Windhelm is simply
Unworthy of
the
one
ancient home of the Nords, and you simply have to accept that. I'm sorry for the way you're being treated, but that's just the way it is. I do think it's time to set out a little bit on some adventuring, though. So we're going to take this as our first episode. I think we made some interesting progress. Certainly we didn't level up in any way, but we know who Manfred is now. We know where he's going. We know what he's going to do. And I think the first thing that he's going to do is simply travel a little bit and find some small quests. We're going to look for some jobs, and we're going to look for the missive boards. We're going to look at the notice board quests, and simply move through Skyrim a little bit, and eventually try to make our way to Korvanjund, which is not far from the Nightgate Inn, which is in the Heljarken region, north of Whiterun. I hope that you like the look of my Skyrim here, with La Profeta and a little bit of adaptation. I am running, in terms of environmental mods, I am running with simply bigger trees in this case, instead of using the enhanced vanilla trees. So the trees are going to be bigger. I'm using pretty standard landscape stuff, Amidian-Born's landscape, some newer farmhouse structure textures, a few rock textures, a little bit of flora here and there that I've added in, but for the most part it's just standard stuff plus the ENB. So there you are. This is what the north of Skyrim looks like in this build. And yes, also some town enhancements. You can see extra buildings there near the Windhelm docks. There's more over here. If you can just barely see the roofs of this amazing add-on, which came from Skyrim Radioactive Exteriors. It's just insane. It's so beautifully done. It just has such a wonderful air about it. Well, you'll see eventually. We'll go there, and I think you'll be very, very impressed by it. It's beautifully built. So, enough of that. This is episode 1 complete of Skyrim Fits and Starts Prologue with Manfred Testorson and Vic, your mod wielding and story ham-handed storyteller host. Until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.